giving a highlights on how a project can be worked out on solid waste management. First of all, before we are entering into a project writing, we should understand who is going to be the beneficiary of it. Suppose waste production, the generating source of the waste may be a house, it can be a corporate company, it can be a panchayat, it can be a municipality. Some of these organizations may be taking initiative for the project. Of course, if it is an individual house, they may not be asking for a project, they may be needed in a solution and equipment. But when it is coming in the question of a corporate company, they may be needed a solution, and they may be needed a project, they may be needed a DPR, and it may be needed a survey on it. So that unless you do a survey on what is required, whether it is an individual house, we may be knowing that in the house, the people may be having some, one person may generate in his course of life, per day life, 250 grams of waste, so that in a house it is 1 kilo waste, like that. But if it is in a company, some 300 people or 400 people are working, we should understand whether they are having a canteen, where they are bringing the food from their own house, are they bringing it in a disposable containers, or how their canteen is functioning, or where they are taking the food, at which time they are taking the food, whether they are taking the morning food in the organization, or lunch only they are taking it, and whether the company or the organization is 24 hours working. Like that, so many things we like to understand before, and we are getting into a survey on a corporate company, or industries, or schools, or colleges, or wherever it may. But in the case of a panchayat, municipality, local self-governments, the scenario is changing, because it is sometimes it is a cosmopolitan city, sometimes it is a municipality, it is a village, if it is a panchayat, it can be like that. So that who is responsible for managing the waste, that is most important. When we are addressing an issue, we should understand for whom we are preparing the budget, or for whom we are making the DPR, and what is the source of waste generation. That we should understand. In fact, the waste, solid waste, when we are addressing a solid waste management system, we should understand that the waste generating in a generating point, but it is producing by either by nature. Anything what is producing by nature, that after our use, that rejections can be managed by the nature itself. Example, if my body, if I lose the life, that time the dead body can be buried in a mud. When we are burying it in a mud, that the soil will take care of it. Soil will take care of it, the decomposition will happen. Like that, anything generating from this universe, from this earth, from this nature, that will be taken back from by the nature. That means the factory which is producing the materials, that is after the end user's usage, it has to go back to the same factory. That is the nature's principle. Nature is doing it and showing it and practicing it, and that explaining to us it can be done like that. But when a factory is making something, human-made factory is making something, suppose tubelight, CFL lamps, or anything like that, any industrial material, industrially produced material, whether it is plastic, it has to go back to the nature. So when you are making, it has to go back to the factory itself where it is producing. It is the producer's responsibility to manage their own waste when after the end users when it comes as a rejection from the end user, whether it is electronic waste, or whether it is metal, or iron, or aluminium, or tubelight, CFL lamp, shoes, resin bags, whatever it may be, it has to go back. But how the end user can help? So that we should give in the DPR, we should work out all these things. We have to find out how the end user, from the end user, how it will be reaching. So here we have to give we have to prepare first an index, history, location, and boundaries of the place. Suppose if it is an industry, if it is a panchayat municipality. This I am showing here. Here a DPR prepared for Kuttampada Gram Panchayat as per the directions of UNDP. Now, when a DPR, when somebody is making, we will have to think that for whom you are making. It is for Kuttampada Panchayat in my case. But it has been requested by United Nations Development as part of the United Nations Development Project. So the standard, international standard, we will have to make the project as per their requirements. Even though it is a tribal area, Ernakulam's eastern side, but it's a tribal panchayat. The population is near about 534 square kilometer is the panchayat area. It is as good as the area is as good as Alapi district. But the panchayat is major areas are forest and 30% areas are of human beings living. And very good area, these tribals also in the forest. Yeah, so that we should understand the nature of the panchayat, that is what I am telling. So Bodhangat Dam is very close to that. So that the river is, one side is the river. If anything polluting that Kuttampada Panchayat, that will be polluting the entire drinking water of the Ernakulam district. So we'll have to consider so many aspects when we are taking preparing a DPR for that Panchayat. So that when an industry, when you are taking, suppose Cochin Special Economic Zone, there are a lot of companies working. There are 140 companies are working. It is 145 acres of land, and the backside of it is a river. So that what are the types of waste generating in the companies? That also we should find out, because different companies are there. So the companies means there are fish companies are there, fish tanning companies are there. This cloth dyeing companies, looms are working there. Cloth making companies are there. The dyeing process are going on. Chemicals are using. So food products are making. Electronic items are making. So that so many companies are there. So we should study the functioning of those companies. So that photos of important places. The second in introduction 1A, B, you can see that photos of important places. Weather details. What is the weather condition of that area? Suppose in Kerala, there's 180 days are weather waterfalls are there. We are having the rains in 180 days. So then after that, the summer, winter, and all these things. Suppose we are going to Munnar, the temperature goes to minus. So, but that is also in Kerala. But if you are coming to Ernakulam or Trivandrum, the temperature never goes to minus. But if Munnar is also near to Ernakulam, it's a part of Ernakulam district, but it is going to be the temperature level is very high, very low in Munnar at times. So that we have to consider that. Why it is to be considered? Because if you are selecting a waste management proposal, the composting process and this biogas plants may not function in Munnar in minus degrees centigrades, because it needs a temperature, atmospheric temperature 30 degrees centigrades, then only the bacteria will work well. Otherwise, it will get frozen condition. Yes.
Sir, slideshow slides.
Slides. This is after talking about the index. You are not getting the index, not seeing the index.
Kana, but full screen alla.
Full screen. Will it come? No, it is. The size of it is not true. Slideshow. One second, madam. Let me try. My screen. Can you read it now?
Hi,
Can
sir.
you read it now?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Hello?
It's okay now, sir. It is okay now. It is okay now.
Okay. Thank you. Acha, this, so that weather details I told, that geographical locations of map. So important locations we will have to show in the DPR. Important location, geographical, whether there is river is there, hill areas are there, and whether there are any colonies, this urban areas. So many things like that we will have to show like that. So we'll have to show all these details. Location map of 17 wards. If there is a geographical administrative level, if there is any bifurcation. Suppose in the case of an industry, what all companies are functioning, that company's location, the map will have to show and the companies where it is located, how the water falls from that area to that other area, how we can collect the waste, all these things, the roadmap and all these things should be given. So in the case of Uttamada Panchayat, the number of wards, and in each ward, how many persons are living, whether they're tribals, what is their educational qualifications, how we can address an IEC program, how we can implement all these things to be shown. People's representative and administration. If it is a panchayat, we will have to take up the matter with the people's representative, ward member, councillor and all. We will have to take the details of them. Even we will have to find out what is the qualification of each member. Suppose we are talking to them in English or Malayalam, what they can, when we are communicating them, whether they can operate the WhatsApp and computer and mail IDs and all these, where they will operate in mail. In the case of an industry, we have to find out how we can communicate to the industries, how we can collect the waste from them, what are their problems in collecting the waste, when they are functioning, are they functioning 24 hours? All these details has to be collected. So that details about each ward we will have to collect, consolidated ward-wise details. After that, collecting the ward-wise details or the company-wise details, we will have to take a consolidated data on the basis. I will show you the table afterwards. Tribal colony details, that any uneducated people are there, any special conservation people are there, that we will have to take. Ward-wise present SWM facilities at source and the requirements. What are the facilities at present these people are having? So when we then we'll have to consolidate ward-wise SWM equipments details we'll have to take. Non-biodegradable waste. What is the non-biodegradable waste that generating in each place? Suppose in a tribal area, there the non-biodegradable waste will be very less. But when we are taking it in the question of this urban area, the non-biodegradable waste should be more. Then engineer estimate for and engineering drawing of MCF, material collection facility centers may be required. So that what is the total quantum of waste generating when we are assessing that, on the basis of that we should have to estimate, take an engineering estimate for material collection facility center, from where we will have to transport the waste to the recycling industries. Estimate and drawing of MRF under construction. So that MRF, material recycling facility center, that also needed. After all, then the financials. Financials, we'll have to go in for the find out the financials. Then after that, that the source of funds from where we are getting and all these things will come in the financials. Then timeline for implementation. So that as if we are discussing about these financials, when it has to be implemented, that is to be done in which all these matters to be done in which schedule. A schedule should be worked out, and then it is annexed. Supporting data should be given in the annexed.
Introduction explanation over topics.
Now, history of location and geographical boundaries, photos of what places, weather details, geographical location of map, river branches, layout, location map of LST wards, all these things we are given. About the beneficiary, mention the name and the design of administrative personnel. When we are going for a proposal, we will have to find out who is the responsible for the person to implement the project. That also should be given in the next stage. Detailed data on beneficiary has to be prepared in the prescribed formats. There will be a format in which we will have to mention all these data. Then this is the format. this ward number, name of member, distance from Kuttampazha Panchayat. Suppose we are having an office in the case of an industry, there is an office, centralized office. From the office, what is the distance of that particular industry? Or if it is a ward, what is the distance from the Kuttampazha Panchayat? Accessibility, to find out what is accessibility, what is the population, nearest residential area, number of tribal houses, and other residents' main income source. What is the main income source of these people? Suppose when we are working out a project for a solid waste management, it is very important that whether that project is suitable to the income of the people who are living that place. Main farming, are they doing any farming? If it is if they are doing the farming, more people are in the farming, then their biodegradable waste can be utilized for the compost making. There is no need of any equipment for them. So that when we find out all these things, we will understand when there is whether there is a forest resource, what are the forest resources, what are the recovery possibilities, mode of selling, how they are selling their items, what is their income, and how they are selling the materials. Is there any market nearer to that? Availability of water. All these things in the survey, we have to take it. Educational facilities, healthcare facilities, road conditions, development, all these things when we are taking it, we will get a picture. Suppose if it is, as if this project is prepared, this DPR is preparing for United Nations Development Project, it is very much necessary whether the people have got the traveling facilities and all, we'll have to give all the road condition, all these things should be there. Infrastructure, unless there is infrastructure facilities, all this planning will create problems. And we should understand what should be the investment required. And it can be in stage wise. After analyzing all these things, it can be stage wise. Then a consolidated data, ward wise details. In each ward, we have to take a consolidated data. On the left hand side, you can see 1, 2, 3 ward details. And each ward, what is the distance? And this on the right, horizontally, we are writing the data of the wards. Vertically, we are writing the number of wards. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're audible.
Shall I proceed?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Now, tribal colony details data sheet. In the case of Kuttampazha, we are giving where are the tribal colonies and the distance from Panchayat, how to reach there. All these details we are giving. In the case of industry also, we will have to give the different industries details and what are the population and all these things we will have to give it. So, this is existing SW equipment. Presently, what are their facilities? What facilities they are using in the residences? Whether they are having any facilities in the shops, education institutions, play schools, all these type of institutions. What are the facilities they are? Suppose we are planning to provide the facility of biogas. What is the number of biogas plants they are having at present? If it is 0, it's 0. Biobins, biopot, pit compost. Like that, several things you can write on the vertical line and the horizontal line. You can the category of the place category and their requirements, whether it is already there, provided or not required, or whether they are required. Once if they say that they are required, then we will have to budget it according to that. Now, collect the details of the number of residents present and the population ward-wise, division-wise in the prescribed format. That is the next method, next requirement. Here it is ward number. The ward number it is 1. You can see that residents, now 490 residents, 1,780, population is 1,780. The total population you can see on the bottom, that is 30,783, and the number of houses is 7,598. So then 7,598 houses, which type of waste management is suitable to them? That is what we are going to find out. And the population is 30,780. Suppose if one person is producing 250 grams of waste, biodegradable waste per day, that is one house will have 1 kilo, so that in Kuttampazha Panchayat, the total waste generation will be 5 tons. That is the, or 7,598 kilos. That is the findings. Now, calculation of waste generation in the prescribed format as per the guidelines of Sujita Mission. Calculation of waste generation. Can you see it? Calculation of waste generation in the prescribed format as per the guidelines of Sujita Mission. That is we have got a Sujita Mission in Kerala, which is giving the guidelines for waste management. So, to get acceptance to from the government, we will have to prepare the waste management proposals as per the guidelines of Sujita Mission. Then only it will get approvals. So, we will have to find out what the government guidelines are there. Whenever we are preparing a DPR in any place, whether it is Kerala, whether it is Tamil Nadu, we will have to find out who is the authority of waste management. The authority of waste management, implementing agency or infrastructural facility to be provided to the public by the local self-government, that is the panchayat, municipality or corporation. But they are controlling by the state government as per the guidelines of the central government. So for any country you are going to make a proposal, that DPR should be as per the guidelines of that country, as per the administrational setup of that country. For here in Kerala, we have to follow the guidelines of Sujita Mission. Breakup of wet and dry waste generating from household level. We are finding it. We have found that what is the residence numbers, population. Now we are estimated average waste generation per head population at 250 grams in kg. So that we got the total waste generation is 7.696 tons, 7.6 or 7.7 tons. Biodegradable is 65%. We are estimated like that. When waste management comes, we will be, our experience shows that in Kerala, 55% to 60% is the biodegradable waste generating. In Kuttamada Panchayat, being an agricultural, major business is agricultural, income source is agricultural, and there are enough landed property. Biodegradable waste is not at all a problem for them in most of the houses, because they can have a pit in that they can make it compost, they got enough space. But in the case of this urban area, as per the manual of Supreme Court Commission's manual, Solid Waste Management Manual of India, the study shows in the villages there is where there is people, 5 lakhs people, the waste with generation will be, biodegradable waste generation will be 250 grams. When it is going to 5 to 10 lakhs people, it will be near about 350 grams per capita. And when it is going above 10 lakhs, the waste generation will be above 500 grams, because there will not be any space. Even a matchstick or stick or this fruit peeling out, whatever it may be, small waste cannot be thrown out anywhere. They cannot compost it. So the entire waste will come in the collection process. Will have to come in the collection process, so that it can be 500 grams up to that. So that in Kuttamada side, we are calculating it as a 250 grams, it is a village area, and it is 55% up to that we have considered as a solid and biodegradable waste, and 45% as non-biodegradable waste. So that the calculation comes to 3.4, 3.5 tons of non-bio and 4.23 tons of this biodegradable waste. Now let us come to the point, waste generation from commercial establishments. Can read. There are so many places we can consider: Anganwadi, primary school, high school, shops and establishment. There is no factories in Kuttamada Panchayat area, so that if there is a factory, that is where whichever may be the source of waste generation can be added in that. And numbers, what is the Anganwadi? 14 Anganwadis. In that total waste generation, we have found it as 7 kilos. That these things should be found out from them itself. We will have to go and survey. just by asking, we cannot take it because we'll have to experience it. We'll ask them that you just find out, you give a bucket or something like that, ask them to weigh it and find it out. Like that, physical examination, physical experience should out. Otherwise, if you are asking somebody, they will say XYZ stories and they'll guess it and assess it, presume it. It's not that. We'll have to ensure that somebody assess it physically and give you the correct picture. Otherwise, the project will be a failure. So that the total waste generation, we have taken it like this. That you can say that HH, household level, what is that, and other source, what is that, grand total. So, Uttamada Panchayat, the total quantity, you can see that 13.097 is the total quantity what we have found that is generating. Now, preparation of schedule for IEC programs. We have found that what is the source of waste, which is the source of waste generation. We have found what is the population. Now we understand this is the total quantity of waste to be managed. So the problem to address, we understand. Now how to address this problem? First of all, whatever may be the project in waste management, we need the understanding with the people. We have to get people to, we should educate the people. IEC program is one of the most important program that is without the cooperation of the people, without education of the people, we will not be able to do it. So that before educating the people, so that we should understand what all requirements they are having, what all equipments they need, how they have to do it. And this assessment can be done by studying the people. Now we have budgeted it like this. This ward number 1 maybe needed 2 biogans. Ward number 1 maybe needed 1 biogas plant and 60 bioport for individual houses. Like that, the total requirement of biogans for all wards 59 units and biogas 156 units and 883 bioport may be needed in individual houses. Why it is 883 houses when there is a number of houses is not like that, near about 7,000 houses are there. Because I told you, there are houses, most of the houses can manage biodegradable waste at their own premises without any equipments. Because in deep forest, nobody is keeping any equipments. But if there is no space for them, then it is better to have equipments which is eco-friendly and economical. That's why we are providing the biopods to them. Whoever needs this biogas plant, that also calculated in that. And this is eco-friendly, economical waste management equipments, what we suggest. That is community basis. We can give, suppose some 40 houses are there in one area. They want to use they can use biogas. So that 40 houses can together manage their waste in the biogas. In the case of individual houses, it can be biopod, or it can be biogas plant. As I told you in the morning, biogas plants, the expectation of people is that they can get the entire requirement of their house requirement of gas, cooking gas requirement. That is not correct. If you are depositing 1 kg of waste, it will have only 16% of carbon particles. The methane gas is CH4. CH4 needs carbon particles. C is carbon. So the carbon particles, if you are putting 1 kilo waste in that, 16% carbon particles may generate 40 grams equivalent of LPG. Means you will be getting in 30 days 1.2 kg of biogas only. So for your requirements of 1 cylinder, LPG cylinder, you need 10 kg of food waste, biodegradable waste per day. So it is not possible in a house because one person will be purchasing one house. You may be purchasing or you may be using vegetables some 3 or 4 kg maximum or 2 kg. If there is only 2 persons, it is only 1 kg. So that the rejections will be maximum 1 kilo. I told it cannot be possible that if 2 persons related 1 kilo waste, 1 kilo biodegradable waste will not be there. So what is to be done? That biogas, we will have to consider that it is for the purpose of waste processing or disposal. The end product is gas, whatever that's a bonus, and the slurry which is coming out can be utilized. It's well utilized. It can be for organic farming. You have got some flower pots or organic vegetables in your house, that your slurry can be utilized for that. In the case of biogas, in the morning session I told, it is better for you to have 30 times conversion to biogas plant. So your food waste also you can put in that. But when you are preparing a DPR, convince the people that they can construct biogas 30 time conversion to biogas plant, so that the underground water will not get spoiled, so that they can utilize the slurry coming out for the water management, so that this watering of plants, it can be managed well. There will not be any stock pit. Your underground water and the well water will not be spoiled. That is another technical side of it. If any questions comes on that, I will answer it. This is a model drawing of MCF. When the material collection facility center, when we are suggesting, we should give a drawing for that. So that the engineering drawing is required, and estimate also should be given. There should be some sections of it, so that the people who are going to construct, there will be some uniformity will be there for that, so that material can be stored in a better way. As I told in the Technopark, we have done 11 meter length and 11 meter width and 22 meter length MCF constructed there. But that is because it is 350 companies in 165 acres of land, it is working, and the waste is very high. But in the question of a panchayat, it is not that required. So that this is in Technopark, I told you that is the entire Technopark is having 50,000 to 60,000 people are working, and the non-biotic waste is very high because the IT sector. But in the panchayat, it is 50,000 people are there. Even then, that much non-biotic waste will not be there. Here, in order to function the project self-sustainable, projected income and expenditure statement has to be prepared. We found that these are the requirements. From where we will get the money to work out this project sustainable. That is the duty of the DPR preparation person, to find out the income source. So that source of income, unless it will be a failure, it is necessary to identify the source of income and the expenses incurring for O&M, operational maintenance also. Mostly what is happening is people will prepare this DPR. For that, the one-time investment, equipments and MCF and everything will be writing. But finally, when the operational maintenance, they will forget the people who are working behind the scene, or we have to work on behind the scene. Mostly waste management, what is happening, the rag pickers level people, the scrap vendors like people, they are very poor people. These people, scavengers like people, they are very poor. And the government is now called them as Harida Sena and Harida Sahaya Sthabana. These Harida Sena people are from the low income group of the society. So they have to be protected. Unless we give a solution or a provision to protect them, this project will be a failure. After all, the equipments will be like that itself. Okay, you might have seen that we are constructing a lot of toilets in the country, but public toilets are very dirty. The reason is, when we are constructing, we will never think about the operational maintenance. And it is necessary to schedule all activities, including design, approval, installation, operation, break-even covering. So unless you suggest all these things, that project will not be a success. A model format to schedule table 1. How to schedule it? What are the stages? First, we will have to prepare DPR. For that, we will have to fix a time frame. Unless we are in time frame, the person who make the DPR, if he or she is not in a time frame, how we can say other people should be in time frame? Approval of DPR by authority. So completion of MCF construction. Here in Kotamada Panchayat, 4 MCFs we have suggested as a decentralized in a decentralized method, and 1 MRF in the centralized side for recycling or resource recovery center as it is. appointment of Haritha Sahaya Sthavanam as implementing agency. You know, in Kerala, now the election is going on. So, in the election process, in the panchayats and the local self governments, the elected representatives may change. And the officers may change. There will be transferred and all. It will happen. But there should be a technically expert people for to support the Haritha Sena members. Haritha Sena means the people who are engaged for collection and operations and all. So to them, said technical support should be given. Those organizations like us is known as Haritha Sahaya Sthavanam. The panchayats should appoint. In the case of Kerala, what happened is every district, block-wise, the Haritha Sahaya Sthavanam has been recommended, appointed by the Haritha Kerala project as part of Haritha Kerala mission. It has been given as selected each block panchayat. One Haritha Sahaya Sthavanam should be there. So sometimes 3 or 4 block panchayat will be given to one Haritha Sahaya Sthavanam for giving guidelines to the panchayat and municipalities. In our case, we have been appointed for Kodamangalam and Kankamali block and Kodamangalam block panchayat for giving advices, technical advices. And Kuttampuzha comes in the Kodamangalam block panchayat. And Kodamangalam municipality also we have given very good advices and then see if everything is functioning. And in there, the formation of Haritha Karma Sena, for every ward, we have selected 2 persons each. 2 ladies or 2 gents, we can select from ward. And the total number of Kuttampuzha is 34 members have been selected. 17 has put in service. So that they have been given training programs, how to collect the waste, how to maintain the hygiene, how to behave with the people, how to collect the funds from the source beneficiaries. Starting of non-biodegradable waste collection as per schedule. The biodegradable waste, we are insisting the people should process at their own premises. The reason is, all biodegradable waste, holding it is very difficult because within 24 hours, biodegradable waste will have to process. Otherwise, it will start decaying and it will smelly and all these problems will be there. So it is better to equip and encourage people, enable people to process biodegradable waste at source itself. And train the people, Haritha Sena members, to give training in to the source level, that is the residences or schools or colleges, where they have to give these institutions, they have to give training, they have to visit them and give them the training. For all these services, they have to get some benefits. So in the case of Haritha Karma Sena, in Kerala, it is decided that they have to be paid 60 rupees per month for their service from each individual houses. It is decided that, government is decided now recently that 60 rupees will be their monthly payment to be given to the Haritha Karma Sena. But if the panchayat, the local self governments, they are the deciding, they are the people who are to decide. They can decide that if some of the people who doesn't have the beneficiaries or the households, they don't have the money to pay, they are BPL level, they need not pay for it. In that case, and some of the places they can decide that only 30 rupees to be collected or 50 rupees to be collected. In such cases, the amount which is reducing by the panchayat should be paid from their own income to the Haritha Karma Sena, because Haritha Karma Sena should not suffer. The people who are engaged for collection, they should ensure their minimum income. That is the government's recent decisions. Earlier it was not like that. The government is forget, or the beneficiaries are telling that let them collect it. Yeah, why they should let them take the benefit of the non-biodegradable items, the recyclable items, sales and all these things. But what's happening is, the threat is like that. The beneficiaries, the source, from the source, people, what they are doing, whatever money they can recover from the valuable items of the rejections, they will not give to the waste collectors. They will give to the rag pickers collect some money from them, and it will go to the scrap vendors. you can say, you know that there are a lot of scrap vendors in our state. In the threat for this panchayat level waste management is that even if a panchayat, even if in the panchayat there are some 10 scrap vendors shops are the agri shops. മലയാളത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞ അക്രിക്കട എന്ന് പറയും. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള അക്രി ഷോപ്സ് even if there is agri shops in panchayats, when the panchayat is planning for starting an MCF or MRF, then the objections will come. Because we have experienced, the people in Kerala, we experienced about Malapallishala, about Brahmapuram, Lalur, and like that places in Calicut also there is one dumping ground. So that everywhere we have experienced the smell and people are unable to live nearer to the dumping grounds. So any small waste management MCF of non-biodegradable item also, people are worried about it, and the political reasons also will be there to talk against it. That is the condition. So that we should give a time frame for all these things. Then only we can overcome these objections and issues which may arise. Now, a model format schedule table 2, you can see that ensure 20% waste generation installing waste management equipments at source. We cannot do the waste management equipments, we cannot install, we cannot say that everything should be done the moment the DPR is submitted. There are so many reasons by which we may not be able to do it, or the panchayat may not be able to do it. So at least 20%, let us have a start. As once our earlier Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was telling, when you are planning to do something, let the first step to be now, not today or tomorrow. The first step should be right now. Like that, let us have a small step, at least first step, that is ensure 20% of waste generations, installing generators, installing waste management equipments at source within a particular frame period, and ensure another 30% in another time frame, and another 30% in the next time frame, and ensure the entire waste generation installing waste management equipments at source within the last step. That will be the saturated stage. And conduct site visit by HKS for review of the operations and the maintenance of systems supplied to generators. We are telling that generators should, the source level, there should be equipment. But is it possible for everybody to manage the waste? There may be reasons, by some reasons, they may not be able to manage the waste management because of the ignorance, lack of easy information education, their programs. Sometimes there may be some sick people, they may not be able to do it. So their waste, what they are doing it. If our interest is, if our aim is to manage the waste of a total area, there should be some monitoring arrangement for which this Haritha Sahaya Sthapanam should educate this Haritha Karma Sena, so that the Haritha Karma Sena should do the monitoring work and they are to do it. In the case of Technopark like industries, they have made, we have given proposal to them, a DPR prepared, and we have constructed this MCF, and we have constructed this biobin, non-biodegradable waste composting center, and after that we ourselves are monitoring it, we are doing it, we are doing the collection, we are doing the processing for the operational and maintenance equipments, everything. And now it is the last 10 years we are doing it there, it is working well. Suppose a dedicated and passionate people are not working on in that business, it is not going to be worked out. So ensure the operation, maintenance and collection functioning self-sustainable, comfortably with these waste generators or this waste collected people. For them, it is that they are getting some extra income for all these purposes. Suppose if they are getting a motivation should be there, some incentives should be received by them. So how to make these people valuable for extra income? Suppose Haritha Karma Sena people, if they are having a job for 10 days in a panchayat, the rest of that 15 days, what they will do? Of course, 5 days or 6 days they can have a holiday or leave, but the rest of their income should be ensured. They should be engaged. For that, we can say that they should visit each and every house. There are places where they can have a cleaning work. They can do it. They can do it in organic farming. Sometimes that there should be some project. We'll have to work out for their end. We'll have to ensure they are comfortably with the income, that is minimum 10,000 rupees or above, they should be getting. So, and one importance we are seeing that in the pleasure in this, that when we are making such DPRs and all these things, if you are very much worried about or very much taking care about the ladies who are working in that, the income which is reaching to the ladies, 10,000 rupees, that will go to the education of the children and for their food in the houses. But if it is gents, they will go to the, where there will be very big queue and it will go to the these liquor shops. So here the satisfaction is there when you are making a DPR. If you are aiming, if it is the ladies, their working comfort also should be considered. That's what I'm telling. The working comfort means they can work in what time. We have given them the working time from 9 o'clock to 4:30 or something like that, so they can reach their houses. And you see, 12 kilometers is distance from in Kuttamada. Some people are coming by walk. There is no conveyance facilities. So self-conveyance is one of the most important things we have to consider. Otherwise, also the project will be failure. So to what depth you have to go? So you are selecting 34 people, and that 34 people, we will have to take care of them, where they are coming, whether they can reach their house safely. So at what time they can work. Are they working nearer to their places? All these things in the DPR should be considered before we are putting them into service. So now you can ask your doubts. I can answer to it. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. You are
Can you hear me? Now I explained
Yeah.
in depth. I think it's so. Then now we can ask anybody wants to ask about this. I can answer to it.
The floor is open for discussion. If anyone is having a doubt, you can ask sir the questions, or you can just write it in the chat box. He'll be answering it now. Question in the chat box. There is no question from the student side. I have a question, sir.
Pardon?
There is no question from the student side. I have a question to ask. That is,
Yes.
So many students are here, and they'll be having so many things in mind. Like they'll be having some innovative projects in mind. So, is there any funding agency who can support these student projects? Like, is there anything like, or else they can write to a private agency or get support, financial support from the agency? Can you just elaborate on that?
Individually, no agencies will be giving any support unless they get some mileage on it. I am sure that this Infosys like organizations are CSR funds are there for so many organizations, but they will be giving it for the university. The university has to organize it. They can give to the government organizations. Suppose university is telling that we have got some 10 students. We are planning to have a research and development for this purpose. So in such cases, it is possible. There are international agencies also is there. International agencies also is there. There's, in India, some of the CSR fundings are giving to the environmental activities. But the individual students, it is very difficult. Let them submit their project. Let them submit to the university and one department, and let us try through the university with the agencies like that, with the NGOs.
There is another question from Mirzana. She is also asking how we are going to raise funds for the installation of all the management processes which you mentioned, like biogas unit or
these units. This unit has to be installed by individual houses. There are government is giving a lot of these subsidies there through the panchayats. The panchayats is already giving the funds for these things, and you just see that whenever people want some, suppose you are constructing a house of some 50 lakhs rupees, your closets, your buckets, your cooking range, everything you are purchasing of yours. But when we are talking about a waste management, the question comes where we are having the funds. So 2,500 rupees is the cost of the pot, biopot. Will it not available in our place? Will it not be able to? Will we not able to invest 2,500 rupees in a house? How many of the people are unable to invest 2,500 rupees? But even then, we are asking for this type of things. That are we able to get a fund from outside? So every individual, I think that 75% of Keralites can invest 2,500 rupees in their own houses. The big problem is over. And then there is biogas plants. Government is giving 5,000 rupees subsidy for that. And there is nobody to purchase for biogas plant because they got only 1 kilo waste in that. And in the case of biobin, of course, let's say community level biobins, that is can be 40 houses. Again, it is 2,000 rupees per houses. But in Trivandrum, when we introduced biobins at apartment level, 15,000 rupees for 1 unit of biobin has been given by Trivandrum Corporation. Once you are having a willingness to do it, the source of fund will not be a problem. That is what my experience in from 2001 onwards. We are in the field from 2000. That we have made it is in this compost bins have been made with this ferro cement. Then it is converted. At that time it was 18,000 rupees. Now it is 80,000 rupees. 80. Even then people are buying it and utilizing it. And people are telling that it's 4,50,000 rupees machinery to be installed now. That is the thing. Even they are willing to utilize the power for that. For comfortability, they are going for the higher level equipments. So money is not a problem now. It is. I think that it is the requirement, the compulsion from the government side, and this compulsion from the attitude has to be changed. That's all.
That's true, sir. The attitude of people that must change at first. And again commented that decentralization of funds will be much efficient here. And then how could the local bodies meet the needs?
Local body?
Local body, how they are going to meet the needs?
Need. Local body, that they are getting the funds from the government, you know, even Swachh Bharat. Central government is giving very good priority to this waste management, and the Swachh Bharat funds have been coming to the from the central government to the state government, and the state government is giving that funds to the local bodies. The problem is this politics in the local bodies and the ignorance of the local bodies. You won't believe that we are in December 2017. I have taken from this Kodamangalam municipal constituency. The MLAs, Anthony John MLA has taken all the councillors and panchayat members to Technopark. A one-day seminar has been conducted as an IEC program, information education program, to these elected representatives. The faith is that most of the elected representatives doesn't know what is to be done. The training program should be conducted to them, and there should be a lead, technical support to them. Then only now you see that in our panchayats and municipalities there is no environmental engineer. The university has got an environment department, but there is no environmental engineer. There is in the municipalities, in the panchayats, and an MBBS doctor is managing the health officer as a health officer. But it's okay for the human beings, health officer, it is okay. But the environmental side, who is looking after? Environmental engineer is not there. That is a requirement. So that when it is that the local bodies can address this issue, if there is an environmental engineer, whenever it is required, a microbiology support, so that our education system has to be changed for the needs of the public. That is what it is required. Then only we can address the issues. It is not the money part of it. The needs is the technical experts, qualified experts having the experience. There are agriculture officers in our country. They are getting enough salary and everything that they don't know how to plant a plant. They are talking about the CM ratio, carbon nitrate ratio, NPK content and all these things. I doubt in the deep forest how many officers are appointed. All the trees are so big, but no agriculture officers are there to plant, give the nourishment to the forest. So like that, when the people are there, educated people are there, they should have an attitude to work down to earth. They should work down to earth. Then only the things will be there. So first of all, we should have educated people in that level, and they should be ready to work down to earth. Then that is the needs actually, not money. Money is very little. Money if you pour more, that will be siphoned out. That is what we have seen.
Is there any question from the participant side? You can ask, sir.
Yes, yes.
In the chat box,
Welcome. When the questions comes only, we will have some. Anybody is interested to have interested to work in environment department? People, any students, anybody wants to have a job also, they can approach me. I can give them guidelines that wherever there is a possible of placement. And we can also think about a R&D department in this Technopark adjacent to that university. Once I given a proposal, Sabuzar is very much interested for doing an R&D. Research and development is one.
Okay, continue, sir. Sorry.
Research and development is one thing which is highly necessary. That is the needs of this hour. Because day by day, the different types of waste is coming. Once upon a time, there was no electronic waste. There was no diapers. There was no sanitary napkins. Only clothes were using for the place of the sanitary napkins. Now all these things are changed. Plastic is coming in different methods in the life. So that how to use the how to recycle the materials, how to dispose it eco-friendly and economically. All these things has to be planned. Extended responsibility of the producers. We will advise them that how to reach back to the producers. Generating point may be the end user, but the producers are responsible for the disposing of the waste eco-friendly. It has to go back. So all these things, there should be a research.
Sabu sir told me so many things about the kind of installation which is there in Technopark. He told me that he went there so many times along with students, and we were not fortunate to see that till now. And we'll be coming soon, sir. After this lockdown, with my students, I'll be coming there to see that.
The only thing is Technopark now to enter the PCC clearance and all these things is required. But the university, if we are giving as a group, we can get the permissions earlier. As if that Vaidyangunna is Technopark's main office is situated in the university place only. You know, you can claim, university can claim that is our own place. They acquired the property.
I'm just curious to know whether how the management of all these inside Technopark, it's a very big campus. What was the kind of challenge you faced when this kind of machinery setup and everything that was installed in the first place? And what was the challenge?
The challenges was the habit of the people was they were used to throw the waste. After this, we can say that all food materials were packed in disposable containers. So that they are getting the food materials from the nearby houses. There are a lot of places where they are supplying the food packets, food packed in the houses and delivering to the Technopark. So that is there. And tin foils and all these things, they are packed and the material is coming. And there are a lot of paper cups. There are a lot of tin foil covers, biryani cups. So many things are coming, all disposable cups. More than the food disposable plates are there. And how to dispose it? Either you'll burn it or you'll have to recycle it. it's very difficult to recycle food contaminated, food contained this disposal paper. That is a challenge we faced, and everything was in a mess. Dogs are there. The dogs are eating all these things, and there everything is spillover in all the places, and people are having the habit of throwing the things in all different places. Cleaning becomes very difficult. Then we have given this training programs, and all CEOs we have called. Most of them they told that they cannot instruct their people for managing segregating the waste, or do not mix principle. Also, they are unable to install them. It's very difficult, they are told. So what I was thinking at that time, I was telling them, there is nothing impossible, because people are coming. People have got a mandatory, something is mandatory in Technopark. There is a gate in the Technopark in which people are checked. There should be a gate pass. There should be a gate pass. There should be a card, identification card for each company. And whenever they are entering into their systems, in front of their system, there's a password. If all these things are possible, then why don't you have a code and contact, something mandatory for waste management also? So at that time, Girish Babu was the CEO. He was telling that Technopark decided to manage the waste eco-friendly. So the rules and regulations and guidelines will be issuing shortly. So you have to abide it. There is no other alternative. If people are not friendly to eco-friendly, they can go out from Technopark, no doubt about it. This park is for the people who live in this. That was the message he has taken. That is fantastic. That message has taken very seriously. All CEOs of the companies, they manage to give training programs, and we have gone each and every company. We have called the people in their halls. There is a hall for Technopark, Malabar Hall, and all these things have been given to us for a long period. Frequently we conduct education programs, and an environmental club has been formed in that Technopark by people who are working there. They were allowed to follow the principle. Even in the food courts, they changed their pattern of food supplies like that, and from the food courts itself, people who are taking the food, they have reduced taking the foods. That is also one thing. There are people used to take the food in the minimum food, the minimum pack, and all these things. That has been stopped in most of the hotels, because people are wasting the food. More than the disposable containers, food itself was the waste. Even before closing in March, this COVID lockdown, we have experienced that 3 tons of food waste was coming. 3 tons of food waste. Food is the waste, not the wasted. It is not the chicken bones, it is the chicken itself. It is the banana, not the banana peel outs. That is coming as a waste at that time. Wasting the food, that is a crime. That educations we are given. Those are the threats we experienced. But the later stage it is managed. First, the 10% we experienced, we have success. Then 20%, 30% like that. Now I may say that 90% we succeeded in our mission.
There is another question from Surya. That is regarding most of the initiatives fail due to lack of participation from public. Do you think this is a problem caused by top-down approach, because the needs of the people are not addressed in many of the proposals?
It is like this. Now COVID came. What happened? Everybody is with mask. The needs of the people is mask, that people understand. When people understand that this is a must, they will do it. Lockdown period, how many people gone to the houses? How many people came out from the houses? Rules strictly implemented. And thus people should change their attitude and should be pressurized. The whole world, now people are with mask. Why it is like that? In waste management, people should understand this is a need. In Gujarat in 1994, Surat, the plague was broken out. Then near about 40 to 60 lakhs people are been transported from one place to the other. And it is spread in Mumbai and Delhi. then people understand the need for it. Then the Surat become the best place now. Like that, the need means people should understand. By changing the attitude, and the law should implement. Everybody is with the mask, everybody with the helmet. But the roads are not without gutter. Anybody who is falling in the gutter and getting into problems, that is should be taken care of. Then that problem is also will be over. So need is when you realize it, individual realize it. This is the need. That's all right. And the general public, they should understand. They will understand this only if the rules are strict. There should be some code and conduct. There should be something mandatory. So that these mandatory things, when it comes, that automatically that will get implemented. Now even the police knows, the public knows that the COVID is spreading like anything. Unless we create take some precautions, it will happen like that. So that they are taking precautions. In mosquitoes, Cochin Corporation area is Ernakulam is a place of mosquitoes. Without mosquitoes, Cochin cannot be a Cochin. But we are not taking an action on that, because with mosquitoes we can live like that. And after some time we will feel with COVID we can live. Then we will take everything lethargy. But if the rule is strict, definitely we will go in for that. In Singapore, once Abdul Kalam was telling, if you are going out from India and when you are coming back, you say that Singapore is good, that place is good, this place is good. But when we coming back to India, we don't mind in pissing on the streets even. That sir was telling like that. And we will be paying, if you are doing spitting in Singapore, you will have to pay dollars fine. But there is no fine here. So discipline will come only if then some strict mandatory rules are implementing it. Earlier there was the toll and all these things. It was difficult to give to the roads. Now the toll system is implemented. The objections will be there. Needs of the people, if with if these rulers, our administration, if it is realizing, definitely we can implement it. And unless there is a rules, mandatory rules, it's very difficult for our people to, even uneducated people, law educated people, lower level is very easy to implement. Educated people, that we will have to strictly implement it, then only it is possible.
No further questions. Shall we wind up, sir?
Yes, it's all right. There is no questions. It's good. Thank you for everybody that hearing, listening me. And any of the doubts, you can just pass through the one department that I'll be here to answer to you in the later stage also.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope you have given an overview of how to make reports regarding solid waste management in any organization.
Okay.
I think it will be useful for the students because this might be the first time students are hearing, particularly environmental science students, they already heard about a lot of the theoretical aspects of different types of converting waste to useful products, like what you have shown earlier in the morning session. But this is an overview of how to make a project report regarding waste management in a particular organization, maybe a school or a college or a hospital or any government organization or non-government organizations. So I think this will be useful for the students in a broader way. Once we get the overview, various steps like how the things should be proceeded, item 1, 2, 3, etc., then they can actually go through various literature, reference books, and they can clear their doubts. And once the corona is over, I think the students as a team, they can come and visit your organization, Technopark, High-Tech Biofertilizer India office, and the waste managing centers there, how you have arranged the various things inside that particular building. For example, the material collection facility center. Inside the material collection facility center, you have the space for the non-biodegradable waste like plastics, papers, metals, glass, etc., arranged in a systematic fashion. So once they come and see all these things, I think it will be useful for them. It will be there in their mind in the picture form, so that the lifelong, they can use this type of things to manage the waste wherever they get a chance to work as an environmental engineer, environmental officer, or things related like that. Or at least it will be useful at the domestic level to manage the waste, segregate the waste into bins. So I think your talk will be very useful to the students. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Reshma to give the concluding remarks and propose the vote of thanks to sir.
You described in detail the project outline of the UNDP project, which is developed for the Kuttambura Panchayat. And you addressed all the problems, like the problem statements that was explained in a neat and systematic manner. And you addressed all the problems and you said something which is worth mentioning, that is educating the people, the attitude of the people that has to be changed. So that came in the addressing the problem section and identifying the gap areas and supporting eco-friendly environmental waste management equipment that was detailed in a very good manner. And the information education program, that was a highlight. And finally, the self-sustainability of the project, ensuring the self-sustainability of the project by making strict monitoring arrangements in the local self-government itself, and scheduling and maintaining the time frame for the project. That was also neatly illustrated and mentioned properly. And you also told about the opportunities and you shared your experiences in an elegant manner. And for your experience, for your all these mentions about how to write a project on waste management, that was really good for the student community and for all the scientists and other technical persons here listening to your lecture. And the relevance of this proposed session, that this session was highly noticeable, because most of the students, they won't be knowing how to write a proposal. So from your expertise and experience sharing, I think they are now able to write proposals, and they'll be having at least an idea of how to look at a problem properly. And for this session, a very big thanks from all the participants side, on behalf of all the participants, on behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of all present here, a very big thanks to you, sir, from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, on behalf of organizing committee, I thank Dr. Reshma JK, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Environmental Sciences, All Saints College, Trivandrum, for the efficient chairing of this afternoon session. A big thank to Dr. Reshma. Her students also participate in the program. I thank all the students who participate in the program. And continuation of that one, I would like to say that the Technopark is the ongoing, the center is an R&D center. Those who come out with good results, those who want to pursue in this particular area, they can come. I propose they can come as a trainee in the R&D center, and they can do something there, waste management things related like that. So today's program is over. Tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. we have the second day session. The session starts with Dr. Sheila A.M., Senior Environment Engineer, Kerala State Pollution Control Board, Thiruvananthapuram. She will be talking on plastic waste management and governing rules in India. See, as far as plastic is concerned, it's a very important topic. So we have to learn more about how the plastic is managed, what are the environmental issues with the plastic, how we can overcome these issues in India, in Kerala, at least particularly in our domestic area. So I request all the students to join the program tomorrow before 10:30 a.m. itself. Since the online program, we will start the program on time without any delay. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.